Well, hey there, I am Arthur Morris, Birds is Art, and if there's one thing for sure, I can teach you to make better photographs of birds. I was up in Homer for 3 weeks, Homer, Alaska, taking a boat across the Kachemak Bay. Flight photography till you can't even lift your lens. We had some folks make 15,000 images in a single session. And I hope you can join me next year. Here are the dates for 2024, and you can email for early bird discount information. So I'm usually not the first person out on the deck. It takes me a long time to get dressed with my heated gloves, but for whatever reason, on this morning, I was the first one out there with the 7200 and the 1.4x teleconverter and the Sony A1. So when I got out on deck, I wanted to make a test exposure. So I hit the F button in Photo Mechanic, and I figured the whites on this cloudy day were pretty close to the whites of a bald eagle's head. So I set the exposure at 2500th of a second f4 at ISO 2500, and that put lots of zebras on the sky. But I was good to go. I used those settings, as you can see, for the first image. So I step out on deck, and there's two eagles. They're a good ways away, but they are fighting. So I raise the lens, I'm in zone, and I'm going to play this through once as a movie, just to give you an idea. So a couple of people see it and they're struggling to get out of the cabin. But for once, I was the first one out there, and it worked out very well. And I don't know, let's see what we have here. From here, we can turn off the yellows, and that will show us that we have up here 66 frame sequence. And we're going to look at them a little slower now. And first, I'm going to turn back on, let's see, what did I do? Turn back on the blues. No. Turn back on the yellows. No. Turn back on the pinks. No. Geez, I work so hard to do this right. Turn back on the reds. No, that's not it either. What's that? There it is. I was right the first time. I just hit the wrong key. So we're going to come up here, and we're going to look at the sequence a little slower, and you'll hear my comments, and feel free to think on your own. Now I'm going to use the 1/2x zoom, and if I come here, we should get a better look at it. Command click. Yeah, and if you check out the blog that accompanies this, you'll see one of these processed, because though they're small in the frame, the Sony A1 has 51 million pixels. These are perfectly exposed, so nothing great going on here. The bottom bird is not really visible. Still pretty cool action. If I just had these frames, I'd make something out of it. Now the bottom bird's starting to turn upside down. Pretty cool. They're really going at it. And nothing really take my breath. That's pretty neat. Pretty neat. And I'm going to let you decide. The second bird's wing is hidden. That's pretty spectacular. This one has a better view of the right-hand bird's head. This one has some great action and the spread tail. By the way, when you're going through this, you can pause and look at the image numbers up here, 7450, 7451, etc. Pretty neat, pretty neat. Oh, that's pretty damn good there. That's pretty good. Pretty good, I'm liking them. And now they're sort of bunched together too much. Bird's face is hidden. And more backbird's hidden. Now the backbird's turned away. And now I think they're going to go upside down. The bottom bird's going to be upside down. His head's facing away, and that's going to get worse with each frame. And then somewhat cooperatively, the bottom bird is going to turn his head. So that one's pretty special. And I try to follow my rule: when unexpected action happens, just acquire focus and keep the shutter button down. Pretty neat here. Both faces visible, the right-hand bird screaming, not happy. And I'm not sure if this was aggressive or courtship behavior. It could be either. But I know I was excited. One or two people in the group got out on the end, pretty sweet there. Lots of tension. And coming through here, I think I'm going to process 2 of them. And then finally, they're going to let go in a second, break apart. The upper birds, that's pretty neat. I hadn't noticed that one before. Both of these are nice. The problem here is both heads are merged against the left and right wing of the bottom bird. Now they're breaking apart. He's let go. And that's my signal that we're ready to check it out. Here's a few from this year. 2022 was spectacular. We had some snow for the first 2 trips. And it's easy getting close to these birds. You can shoot these with a 70 to 200, 200 to 600, 400 2.8 with a 1.4. But head portraits are not at all difficult. Tons of great action. This bird taking off. Amazing A1 autofocus with Sony. So I hope you can join me. It is a spectacular trip. We get out for sunsets. We're baiting the birds with frozen herring. And there's tons of action. So hopefully I'll see you next year in Homer. If not, you can look at the DeSoto Spring IPTs. There's 3 of them. Might join me in Iceland if you look at the blog. And next year, San Diego. Anyway, have fun, get out, make some great pictures. Love you much. Cheers.